Hello, firstly, thank you for taking the time to look at this presentation of Contract Controller. My name is Richard and I'll be taking you through the key areas of the system. Now I'm sure at the moment you don't have all day, so this really is just a brief taster of what Contract Controller can do. My background is from our industry. Being a time-served joiner cabinet maker, I went on to become a senior shop fitting estimator before getting involved with Contract Controller. Contract Controller is a one-stop system specifically for shop fitting companies, but may be implemented in a staged process. With my background firmly in shop fitting and manufacturing, and our company being associate members of the NAS, we know what is required. We know the industry, we're not just a software company with a solution. The core areas are inquiries, quotations, contracts, material libraries, purchase orders, timesheets and sales invoices. Everything is interlinked and revolves around a contract. So, quotations are built up from bill items that in turn are built up from material and labour library, and they may also contain pre-priced items. A bill item may contain another bill item, and there's no restriction as to how many layers you may go. If a material is updated in the library, any subsequent items or revised items that use that material will have the cost automatically updated. Obviously, your existing quotations will not be amended. Another great point is that if you revise a quotation, the original is always kept, not like an Excel spreadsheet that will be updated if you forget to click the Save As button. Now, not all companies have a sales department, but the quotation or contract must start from somewhere, and this will be an inquiry that will hopefully become a contract. The system has various dashboards, with one of them being for sales support. This helps identify inquiries and quotations that are yet to be converted to contracts, need following up, or if successful, classed as lost. This helps ensure that any potential work is constantly monitored. There's also an area to remind you of companies to contact and tasks to do. From any department, an inquiry or contract can be viewed to give a global view of the stage and status of the inquiry or contract. With this screen showing all the quotations that have been prepared for the contract, the variations to orders, sales invoices, and an overview of forecasted costs and costs to date and profitability. Now, estimating can be a hard area to get on board, but remember, I was an estimator, so this area is the closest that any system will ever get to making estimating easier than using spreadsheets, or as we used to say, on the back of a fad packet. I've had many estimators who were, shall we say, a little sceptical about using the system, and after several weeks agreeing that it has made their life a lot easier. Forming a revised quote for the umpteenth time for a potential contract alone can save so much time and effort. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail at this stage about creating quotations, but they're built up with bill items, and the system will then split and collate all the material and labour elements to allow different margins to be applied to the different elements. Also, if a bill item needs to be set at a given set price to the client, this is also possible. Terms and conditions are set with the quotation, and a material and labour analysis may also be generated from the quote. A bill item within the quotation is generated using materials and labour from the library. If a material is not in the library, it may be added without leaving the bill item. Also, in true estimating fashion, after entering all the materials and labour, the system cost is less than you thought, then your estimator gut instinct says it should be costing more, but you don't want to increase the materials and labour, you can apply a cost adjustment to suit. So completed quotations may be formed as printouts or PDFs and sent to the client, and they're printed in a clear professional manner with your company headers and footers, and very importantly with your company's terms and conditions. No more forgetting to attach a separate PDF with your terms and conditions to the quote. So we've done all the sales and estimating, and now production. Let's try and put all this into practice. A scary time for the estimator when you get to see how much time was actually spent on an item. Now again, this isn't the time to go into too much detail, but I'll aim to give you an insight into the areas of production. One of the dashboard settings available is for production, and this shows who's clocked in, what jobs they're working on, and what current contracts are currently going through the works. The production status screen of a contract will show where an item is up to in manufacture and how many items for each operation is being used against the scheduled hours. The screen will also show if an item has been completed and accepted into a dispatch or loading area, and will also show when it's been dispatched to site and what dispatch node. So this now gives full traceability of an item and will easily compare the actual hours used against those quoted. In order to enable the tracking facility, employees scan their ID cards along with the item that they're working on, either coded on a drawing or on a production tracking sheet. This automatically updates the status of the item, as well as forming the employee's timesheet. As an employee scans at a pod station, they can also see and check the item that they're working on. Purchase orders are easily generated, and there's three types, one for suppliers, one for subcontractors, and one for plant hire. All will immediately go through to job costing once issued, so contracts are aware of the ever-increasing costs. The value that was used in the quotation is also compared to that of the purchase order, so a true contract cost forecast is now possible. So if the quotation was for $30,000 for some work, and the purchase order was only for $25,000, the system will show that a saving of $5,000 has already been made against the contract, and this will be reflected in the contract job cost forecast. Complete stock control is possible for items ordered for stock or contract specific, and this screen is showing the stock control dashboard. Items may be purchased against a stock number rather than a contract number, and then once received, held in the stores and then issued to a specific contract as required. Common items such as drawer runners, cabinet hinges, etc. won't necessarily be ordered as job specific, as they'll be bought in bulk, and are quite often forgotten to be taken into account when doing job costing. This way you can have complete control of the stock you hold, when more needs ordering, and when it's booked to a contract. The system has a detailed goods received area, where items received into stock are issued to contracts on a first in, first out basis, as you may have purchased the same item at different cost rates. Items are also easily coded to allow the use of a handheld scanner to facilitate when issuing items from a stock to contract. So a crucial function for a contract is to ensure that all additional works are charged for, and this is done using variations to orders. VOs may be included or excluded to the contract once the client agrees or disagrees. Also, valuations or applications for payment may also be generated, detailing the amount of work completed along with any additional works or materials on site. Contract Controller is not aiming to replace your existing account system, but it will take over job costing, timesheet production, purchase invoicing, and sales invoicing. All the relevant accounts data may be downloaded and imported into your account system so that the monetary side of things may still be controlled by your accounting system. One of the key areas of accounts is the job cost and job cost forecast, and this is instantly available on the accounts dashboard, showing current contracts along with outstanding invoices due from clients and scheduled valuations or payment plans that are due for invoicing. So there's no more waiting for purchase invoices to come in to check a job cost. As soon as a purchase order is issued, the system will show the committed cost. Once the purchase invoice comes in, if there is a difference, job costing will also show this if it's accepted. Also, job costs may be drilled down into specific items that are going through the workshop, showing employee times and costs along with specific materials purchased or items from stock for that particular item. A listing of all purchase invoices due or received may be viewed and indicated as authorized to be paid. Double-clicking on an item will allow more detail to be seen and allow part payment or adjustments to be made if required. One of the biggest issues is getting folk to do accurate or even semi-accurate timesheets. With timesheet pods around the factory, employees can easily scan their ID and the item that they're working on. They don't need to scan off when they move on to a next item, they simply scan their ID and the new item. This can also double up as a fire roll call system, as the system will know which employees are currently on the premises. So, looking at a timesheet pod, as employees scan their ID and a contract, they can see what contracts and items they and their colleagues are working on. They can also scan using any of the pods around the workshop. Large display screens may also be used to check who is working on what. This will show the scheduled hours along with the hours still available for an item being worked on, helping to give an indication if an item is about to or starting to run over the time allowed. Some companies position these actually in the workshop, others in the production manager's area, and some companies in both areas. So, as employees scan the items they're working on, timesheets are automatically formed and then are verified before being posted to job cost. Appreciating that timesheets may not be verified and processed straight away, the times will immediately be shown in the production tracking areas though. Full reporting on timesheets and a payroll report may be generated for accounts. The final key area I want to talk about today is equipment maintenance and management. One area often omitted by so many systems is site equipment. How many batteries go missing on site? Where are all the circular saws at the moment? When was that tower access last used and what contract was it damaged on? When is the pat testing due on equipment? When is the van service due? All of these can be easily answered using the equipment maintenance and tracking area. Now, there isn't time to go into great detail here, but full details of an item and its service history, its site that it's been used on, is easily located. This area can also be used for machines in the factory, vehicles and forklift trucks. Equipment may be booked out to a site and subsequently returned from a site. It can also be taken out of service for whatever reason so that it can't be subsequently booked out to a site until put back into service. Well, I will leave you to pause the video to read this, but suffice to say, we have been around a long time and we know the industry and we have a great team to help you. So, thank you for making it to the end, and I hope you found this informative. I will have missed some areas out, as there just isn't enough time, but you should have a good enough insight as to what the system can do. The best thing to do next is to get in touch, and we can then go through specific areas of the system that you'd like to see in greater detail. Look forward to being able to talk to you in person soon. Okay, bye for now.